What's up, guys? So, today I made a pretty interesting observation while I was at work, and it reminded me of something that I have encountered in the past. But witnessing this today at work kind of helped me put my mind together on discussing this topic, which I had absolutely no plans in going over. But if the idea occurred to me, then let's just go ahead and dive into it. And that is, do you guys ever notice how, depending on what a person is wearing, their behavior tends to be a little different? And when you think about it, it is common sense because honestly, you will wear your best clothes when you attend a specific function that, let's say, is special or something. And when the function is special, then you're trying to make a good impression, you're trying to stand out, or maybe it's all about the prestige of the place or the image of the moment and whatnot. But then when I thought about this, I saw someone who works with me and they have been purchasing pretty expensive clothes. And it's like, okay, you're spending $200, $300 on some shoes that are nice. I'm not going to sit here and act like a hater. They are pretty nice shoes. I have to give them credit on that. It's not what I would be willing to pay for any piece of clothing anyway, but that's not the point. But the thing of it, what stood out to me was the fact that this person's behavior was just different, just because they were wearing expensive clothes now. And I'm like, well, if you're going to be wearing fancy clothes, I hope that just because you spent good money on that and you're bringing it to a place where you're literally asking for disaster to happen, I hope that does not mean that your performance is going to be affected, that you are going to be willing to be doing less just so that you don't get dirty or run the risk of ruining stuff, and that you just do not behave unnaturally. And well, that seemed to be kind of what happened. And maybe that's why I got a little, I don't want to say I was frustrated. It was more of a disappointment because you know better than that. You know that you're going somewhere where you can potentially get dirty, and just because you have accessories that are pricey, you are acting different, and even your job performance is different, which to me, honestly, seem to be in the decline. So that is a cause of concern. But when I think about it, to me, the way I look, my appearance, what I wear, it has never been indicative of the kind of behavior that I am going to have. Like, of course, usually if I wear my fancier, better looking clothes, it's because maybe I have a special occasion going on. And special occasions usually mean for me like parties, weddings. Well, I cannot say weddings because I have never actually been to one, but as a kid, I did go to one. I just do not really recall it. But I do remember that my mom was getting me fixed for the event. But, anyways, and then, of course, graduation, ceremonies, and prom. You know, the whole fun of prom is getting your prom dress, and the guys find their suits to match with their girl or whatever. But honestly, for me personally, I wear whatever makes me feel well, whatever makes me feel comfortable. For job interviews, of course, you want to follow a little bit of an etiquette. And I get it, it's the professional setting, it's all about good impressions. But have you ever sat down and thought about the fact that what to you professionally may be a good impression to me is ugly as fuck? Like, to me, pantsuits are horrible. Like, women suits, to me, they are terrible. Even if I were a teacher and our school district required that teachers look neat all the time and t-shirts or polos were banned, I would not wear that shit. Me having to wear a uniform can be a reason for me to reject a job. It doesn't matter how much I make or like what the rewards are. I could very easily turn it down because I like to dress in a way that I am prepared for what I'm doing. I like to dress prepared to go to work. So when I am at work, for example, because I have to be on my feet for extended periods of time and sometimes I have to move around a lot, or other times I have to stand still on one spot, I am going to wear comfortable shoes. I am going to wear comfortable clothes. So the only thing that I wish I could change about my dress code is that we cannot wear leggings. Like, we cannot wear sporty type clothes, which I get. It's all about the presentation and the image. But to me, sport clothes look amazing. So when it comes to the way someone presents themselves and what your impression of them is based on that appearance, it's completely up to the individual. So to me, it's crazy that we have this standard of what is acceptable or not depending on your setting. And to me, that's just ridiculous because it tends to alter the way people behave. Look at me, I'm wearing this dress, I'm wearing this suit. So I have to apply fine dining etiquette, and even the way you're eating is fake, the way you're drinking off your cups is fake, the way you converse is also fake. But with me, pretty much the way that I present myself here is the way that I present myself with my friends, with my mom, with my colleagues. So yeah, I can be a potty mouth around everybody, or sometimes I'm just in a more understanding, caring, nurturing mood, and I'm like, if you're struggling, then I'm not going to be dragging you or being a complete troll towards you unless we're super, super, super tight. But I'm not going to stop being myself just because I have on a dress or just because my hair is done. If I have to go for a run under the rain and my hair is done, I am going to do it. But the reason I don't get my hair done is because I don't want to be worried about me having spent an hour and a half under the dryer only to ruin it. So that's the reason you guys never see me looking neat around here. And it's because I don't care. Like, I wouldn't judge you guys for how you looked if we were hanging out. So I would expect the same from you, that you do not bother me based on what I look like, because that is completely irrelevant to what I am capable of doing and what my intent is whenever we do hang out. So I just wanted to throw that out there and let you guys know that that happened to me and that I observe how people just change over the most insignificant of things in my book. But of course, it was established that appearance is important because maybe psychology dictates that the better looking you are, the more people are going to take you seriously. But I don't know. I think that's one of those things that people waste too much time on, and it really doesn't yield any positive results. But the only way I agree with uniforms is if it's a safety concern. Like, you wouldn't want to be wearing clothes that are loose when you're in an environment where it can get caught in something and get you hurt. So that's common sense. But overall, in, let's say, non laborious settings, why the fuck do you worry about that? Just wear clothes. That's what matters. Just wear something. But to change your behavior just because you're looking different, to me, that's stupid. Shoot, I cannot read the very first comment. But anyways, I'm gonna try. My entire wardrobe is pretty consistent. I'm a little more prone to dirtying clothes than others in some ways, so I buy them accordingly. Love your accents, I appreciate it. I also want to avoid spending too much on clothes until I'm done losing weight. No one buys a suit that's going to be too big in a month or two. You know what? That's a very good point. Imagine that you spend so much time and effort buying all these clothes. Let's say that they're fancy clothes, and then you change physically to where you can't even fit into them anymore. You're completely wasting time and resources, and even if you can afford that, you're just being wasteful. So it's just crazy that you are obsessing and collecting something that it'll become useless in a few. Now, if you're a child, that's completely different because you're still growing. You need clothes. Your body is still changing. But to just go through stuff mindlessly is just wasteful. And maybe it affects me like that because I'm not a wasteful person, but it's crazy that it alters people. It's weird. So weird to me. I'll wear anything. Often I'll wear long johns under shorts with knee socks in public. You know, when I was younger, I used to like the socks that were long. But now I like the socks that you cannot really see once they're in your shoe. Just because they seem to be, they don't chafe my skin as much. Because the really long ones used to, especially since I tend to sweat a lot during warmer weather season. I'm like a human furnace. So it's really more of a skin concern more than anything. But, anyways, nice, Ollie. Keep up the weight loss. 2 years ago, I lost 65 pounds in 9 months. You go, dude. You look swell. Awesome. I've been hovering up and down a bit lately, but I'm about 60 pounds down myself. I was about there this time last year, but then found half my lost weight again after being derailed. Shame on you. I'm also of the opinion that women shouldn't wear makeup on the daily. I think it creates a dependency that can cause confidence issues. You know what? You mentioned a very fair point. There are women out there who are not even comfortable enough to go out to the grocery store for 5 minutes without a drop of makeup. Why? I don't get it. How can you spend so much time on that? For what? All you're going to do is go back home and nobody's going to see you. Now, if you're going to look nice for your man, that's great. But when I go out in public, I'm never looking at people. Like yesterday, I had a lady who recognizes me going to the gym and she said, "Oh, I seen you working out, but I never want to interrupt you." And I was like, good call, because when I go there, I don't have a lot of time. I'm trying to do a lot in just 2 hours. And those 2 hours do not mean constant exercise. Sometimes it means I have to wait for a human being to be done in a machine that for some reason they're taking too long at because they're chilling on their cell phone. And I just want to make most with my time. And honestly, I'm just not a very social person like that. So it's just weird for me to be interacting with people in a place where I go to be busy. The best times to speak to me is to like ask me to hang out, and I'll be glad to go out with you and grab lunch or something or just chill out somewhere. But if I'm at the gym or if I'm at work, I do not have time to get social. You just have to trust me on that one. So I just explained it to her. I said, I like to focus. When I'm at the gym and when I'm at work, I am incredibly focused. My mom doesn't exist. My boyfriend doesn't exist. Religion doesn't exist. That's kind of the way I am when I am in work mode. So all that exists is the task at hand and me being highly efficient at it. And to do that, it requires focus. But what I like to do is just, if I'm comfortable enough with the person, I give them my number and I'm like, just call me or shoot me a text and we can get this arranged for us to hang out, and sure, um, we can converse in that manner. And it's happened a few times. But it's just, people like to approach me when I'm busiest or at the most inopportune times. And given that I'm not very social like that, that's why sometimes I get stressed about the whole situation. And some people get shocked. They just assume that because I'm usually an all around nice and polite person that I must be really good with people, and I'm like, I like to be alone more than anything. Like the only the only influences I need in my days are maybe a friend, one colleague who I'm super tight with, and then my mom and the boyfriend, of course. But outside of that, I don't need anything. When it comes to socializing, I don't need groups. Let's see. And also, part of the reason why I don't enjoy to go out so much is because of that. I don't like to stress over what I am going to wear. Like, is this too formal? Is this too informal? Is this appropriate? Is this inappropriate? I just like to show up in whatever clothes I feel like and just be okay with that. But someone out there deep down inside has something to say about that. I don't mind if you think it. I only mind when you bug me about it. Like the few times that I have gone to work with my hair straight, it's like, oh, you actually straightened your hair. Why don't you do that more often? Or I wish I would see you like that more. Or like that suits you so much better. Or oh, you're actually looking nice today. Why are you wearing that? What are you so dressed up for? And I'm like, this is not me being dressed up for anything. This is me wearing clothes that are in my closet and I want to use them. Like what is up with people just wanting to know details about everything? Like they ask for an explanation on everything. Like, no, how maybe I wanted to dress up for me? There's no reason. So, but anyways, I'm just rambling now. Keeping it off is the hardest part, in my opinion, Ollie. As far as clothes go, I could be confused as a hobo by anyone with a real style sense. Well, you guys know me. I just don't, I wear random stuff. Usually I'm in a t shirt and leggings. Leggings, leggings, leggings. I have 2 rows in my closet just full of leggings. And I'm thinking about more. Somebody get this girl some more leggings for Christmas. On the makeup stuff, I don't get it either. I know people who are so obsessed with makeup but don't look any worse without it or even better. For me personally, maybe it's because I don't know how to properly apply makeup without looking like I am a child's box of crayons. But for me personally, I've always enjoyed having a fresh look to me. Like my face being consistent with the rest of my skin and not looking all caked up when I sweat and especially breakouts. When you wear makeup, you're so prone to breakouts. And then I be seeing all these girls talking about how their face is always so uh, irritated and stuff. And they ask me what I do with my face. And I said, I wash it, I exfoliate it 2 times a week, and that I stay away from the sun and don't wear makeup. What? You don't wear makeup? Blah, blah, this and that. No. I mean, because what happens is that your mortal body will sweat at temperatures that are above 83 degrees for most of us. And then your pores are clogged with the powders and shit and chemicals that you put on your face. Any human skin is going to break out from that. So you have to take care of your skin, but the way to take care of your skin is to not use concealers. As to saying the word makeup, I like to say concealers because honestly, that's primarily the reason why people wear it to like conceal spots and all that junk. But as a teen, I did try makeup a few times and I just had this goth look to me that I hated. It did not look like me. I did not feel like I was comfortable like myself. So I said, forget that. And I feel like every day that I go without a drop of makeup, my body is thanking me for it. Uh, agreed. I prefer dating women over a clown. That's funny. Oh God, the why don't you do that more often comment. That is the worst. Why grow someone like that? Yeah, it's more of a the person does not understand that I am not enslaved to habit. So yes, I do feel more attractive personally when I have my hair straight and when I wear my fancier clothes. But just because that adds a boost to my self esteem, it does not have to alter my personality because I am already confident about my personality. So If you're using makeup and clothes to enhance your opinion on yourself when it comes to how you present yourself, cool. But if you have to rely on your looks to also have a personality, I think that's weird. That's just weird. A tiny bit off topic, but yesterday at work, a girl said to me the only reason men grow beards is to hide their face, as she was three different shades of skin down her face and neck. Yeah, isn't that strange though? That you have the people who mess with tanning beds, and you know that their skin tone is different, and when they come out of these tanning beds, they just look like they got grilled, like there's no consistency to their skin whatsoever, and those things are so dangerous. You are pretty much placing the sun's radiation directly over you. That's just a sure way to ask to age faster. The lack of self awareness, and that is worrying. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when someone says, "Why don't you do this and that more often?" I just say, "Because I don't." You know, it's not what I need. It's not what makes me happy. It's not what fulfills me. It's not what I need to just feel good about myself. It's just when I feel like it, I do it, period. If you were brought up in a way to where that was expected and a requirement, I am sorry, but I have never ever been enslaved to anything. um, like just like I teased someone the other day, when it comes to the way I live my life presently, the last time I was a slave in any sense, the British were here. And what I mean by that is that I just go about my day and nobody tells me what to do. I know that everything is about my will. Like, I have a free will, and based on how I make decisions, that will affect the kind of life that I have. So if I like to live here and have a car and afford what I like to eat and live comfortably, I have to get up at 5 a.m. and go to work. That is my free will speaking. But literally, I don't have to get up at 5 and go to work and make money. Yeah, I could live off benefits, I guess, but that is not what makes me happiest. So, what makes me happier is to go out there and seek my resources that help me live a little better. But I'm not being enslaved to the task at hand. It's more of I am choosing the quality of my life and I pursue it based on what I am capable of doing. I hope that makes sense, but the point I'm trying to make is that every single decision that I make is based on what makes me feel good, what makes me feel well ultimately. So, wearing shitty clothes is a part of it. Not straightening my hair so that I can be out sweating or getting rained on is another reason. And also, I like to have extra money. So I am not going to be spending money that I don't really have buying things that I cannot really afford. Like, just because you have that money in the bank doesn't mean that you can actually afford to be mindlessly spending it. It's like buying a car. Just because you can pay the monthly payment doesn't mean you can afford the car. You have to consider insurance, you have to consider maintenance and gas. So just be careful about the decisions that you make. And when it comes to commenting on someone else's life, ask yourself, where are you at? Are you happy with your life? And if you know someone who is not as happy with their lives and you feel like you can positively contribute, then talk about it. But until then, people don't want to hear what you gotta say about that. And if anyone dresses nicely looking for compliments, I have to say that they need to work on their self esteem. Like, you shouldn't need to be looking nice to be finding ways to trigger people to tell you things to make you feel better. To me, that's just weird. Why aren't you positive about yourself independently? See what I mean? But, anyways, guys, you know me. Everything I say here is just my opinion, my thoughts. I'm not saying that my way of living is what's right, it's what works for me, and that is therefore what I will continue to do. Alright, guys, I'm going to conclude my rambling here. I really don't have anything else to add. And for anyone who watches the stream later, you know the drill. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And to those of you who were present, I appreciate you. I'll see you soon. Peace out.